Hi, this is Chris Guldi with the Guldi Group at Keller Williams Realty here in Southern Maryland. If you've been watching the housing market at all, thinking about buying a house or selling your house, you've probably heard of a low appraisal. Probably known somebody that's had it happen to them, and you're here watching this video because today we're going to talk about what that means and what can happen. The appraisal's primary purpose is to help the bank see the value of the property so that they know how much money they're willing to lend on it. The appraisal is based upon what happened, not what's happening right now. So the appraisal is looking at properties that have sold. When you have a rapidly increasing market with a lot of buyer demand like we have right now, you're going to have properties that are under contract that sold that may not close in time to show as a comparable in a situation where maybe you are trying to close faster than that person is. So when that happens, we have an appraisal that comes in based on what is sold and not the activity that is now pending, which is what it was when you first started looking at properties, which is what you're basing your value on, which is why sometimes a buyer is willing to pay more for a property than the bank is willing to lend. So what happens when this low appraisal comes in? Well, we're really back to negotiating. If you've got a clean contract with just a sales price and no closing help or anything like that, then we more than likely are going to wind up seeing a reduction in the contracted price down to what the appraised value was. If you have closing help, then it's a different situation. And now there's a negotiation going on between the buyer and the seller again, as the seller is reducing their price down to the appraised value so the buyer can get a loan, and the buyer is trying to figure out how much cash they can bring to the table because their closing help maybe is reduced in order to help the net. So there's a give and take there with everybody is the most common situation we see there. Other things that could happen though is when during negotiations, we could negotiate away the appraisal contingency, which means as the buyer now you're having to come up with cash for the difference between your contracted sales price and the appraisal. As always in real estate, everything is a negotiation. And so every item that we've talked about today could be negotiated a completely different way as we're going under contract. And that could make it a different scenario. But these are going to cover the most common scenarios that you're going to see if you're dealing with a low appraisal. Again, this is Chris Guldi with Keller Williams Realty in Southern Maryland, and thank you for watching this video.